So, technology and rhetoric. Let's begin. So I remember the first time I ever considered words being not just alphabetical, or not just, when I say alphabetical, I mean obviously words are alphabetical, right? But I remember the first time I ever considered writing words and producing words as more than just an essay or more than just a piece of paper. And it really changed my entire life, and so that is why I am sitting in my bedroom on a Thursday morning filming a vlog. Yeah. So, like most people, I am very much a visual learner. I am one of those people that I would much rather watch somebody do it and then me do it than have somebody write out an instruction booklet and just sort of hand it to me. And so, yeah, I just found my entire life, like, every time someone would hand me an instruction booklet, or I would go look up, for example, how to apply my makeup, I would look up a Pinterest tutorial and look at the pictures, and it never turned out like the pictures, okay? Let me tell you, I would have eyeliner way out to here, and somehow my foundation was orange on my face, like, it didn't match because I tried to follow the instructions of a picture, which I'll get into much later. I really had problems, like, looking at it that way. I needed somebody to do it, and I needed to watch them do it, and then I needed to do it. So in my middle school years, I started to discover YouTube. And one day I was trying to apply my makeup by one stupid picture I saw on Instagram, and I was getting really, really frustrated. And I was like, Mom, like, I need help. Like, I can't figure this out. Like, there's no way that eyeliner is supposed to go all the way out to my hairline. Like, there's no way. And then my mom one day was like, well, have you tried YouTubing it? And I was like, what? Wait. What? I tried that. I immediately went and looked up, like, makeup tutorial for beginner, and then I found YouTubers like Laura Lee or Manny MUA or Jeffree Star, or, you know, the list could go on. Nikki Tutorials, who is my favorite. And as soon as I was able to watch them do it and watch them, you know, because, like, an instruction manual will tell you, oh, buff the brush in a circular motion from the center of your face to the outside of your face. But that doesn't make any sense to someone who's never done it before. But if I can watch someone show me what that looks like, for them to actually dip into their foundation and kind of buff it all the way out, that is so much more helpful to me. And so I started to utilize YouTube as a tool, where my friends were Googling things like how to write a good introduction. I was YouTubing it. Like, literally, I was YouTubing story times like Shane Dawson, and I was saying, you know what, he starts his story with a really big, just like, bam, like, huge statement that gets you, and then he cuts to the actual story, which is usually about half as interesting as the introduction, but because I was so hooked at the beginning, I could just follow along, just like that, so easy. And like, I just found myself doing that and really utilizing storytime YouTubers, because, like I said, with my makeup example, I am a visual learner, okay? Like, there is a lot of things that I have tried to learn just by way of, okay, well, I'm just gonna read the instructions and hope it goes out right, and it is just completely flopped in my face. Cue recipe books, cue instruction manuals, cue any piece of IKEA furniture I've ever built, and somehow I end up with more dowels than I needed. I am not one of those people that can just read it and do it. I am someone who has to watch you do it and then do it. And so the same was true for story times, and I started to watch these people tell such captivating stories, and I was like, wait a minute, I could tell captivating stories of my own. And it really even changed not only my process as a writer, which, yeah, I did learn, like I said, literally how people tell stories. So you're gonna want, for an introduction, by watching Shane Dawson videos, I learned that an introduction needs to hook, line, and sinkum. And then your story can be you get a little bit more freedom there because they're already trying to see what your introduction was leading them to. And then your conclusion needs to wrap everything up nice and neat with a bow. And I learned that by watching Shane Dawson conspiracy theory videos, which, if you're interested, I will put his YouTube in my description box, and you should go check them out because they're great if you haven't already. Most people have, but, you know, who am I to judge? I learned how to actually tell a story that way, but I also learned that my process as a writer doesn't have to be on paper. It can be me sitting in my bedroom on a Thursday morning just talking to a camera and telling you about my life and telling you a message that I want you to hear, like, pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. That's my message. I could say stuff like that in front of a camera, and it is just as legitimate of authorship and of writing and of art as if I were to write out a tweet and send it, or write out on a piece of paper, pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. The idea is that they're both effective, and it has changed so much about how I do things. YouTube is probably solely responsible for me deciding that music is the field I want to go into. And so I do have a YouTube channel, which I will also link if you want to watch it. You don't have to, and you probably shouldn't. The videos are old and whatever. Besides the point, I digress. But YouTube and the idea of a video medium being in place really helped me kind of strip away all of the nonsense. I didn't feel like I had to write 5 pages of fluff before I got to my message. I could just sit in front of a camera and tell you what my message is. And, you know, the beauty of YouTube is that you can either watch it or not. Like, it's not gonna hurt me if you don't watch it. It's not gonna hurt me if you do watch it. Like, great. And using YouTube as a medium has helped me sort of filter through the nonsense and kind of say, like, whoa, like, not only has it shaped my processes, as in, like, my story, the way I tell a story, or the way I would want to say something, it also kind of legitimizes to me what I want to say, because I can just talk to you like you're a person sitting right in front of me. And so my process, because of YouTube as a writer, has sort of metamorphed into the idea that my writing can be conversational. It can be like me talking back and forth to you. It can be me talking to some person outside or whatever. I can just say what I want to say and not have to worry about all the fluff and the BS and the nonsense. I can just sit in front of a camera and be myself. And I can sit in front of an essay and just, you know what? Here's what I really think, and just write it. I don't think I'd be able to do that if it weren't for platforms like YouTube. If it weren't for YouTubers like Nikki Tutorials or Shane Dawson, who can just come out. Literally, Nikki Tutorials just came out of Strands and there was no fluff in her video. There was no anything. It was just, here, this is me. I'm sharing it with you because I feel like this is the message I want to portray. And Shane Dawson does a lot of that with his videos, of just exposing things, and not in a nasty way, not in a cancel culture way, but exposing things in a way that just brings light to an issue. Like conspiracy theories or the beauty industry, as noted by his series, The Beautiful World of Jeffree Star. All of this stuff, like, I would not know, quite honestly, how to tell a story that's worth listening to, or tell something that's worth remembering to an audience, if it weren't for YouTube, if it weren't for hours of me spending my nights cuddled up in my bed with a cup of coffee, just watching people tell their stories and kind of deciding that, like, yeah, that's what I want. I want to tell stories that are worth remembering, and I want my process to be less about checking boxes. Do I have an introduction? Do I have 3 body paragraphs? Do I have a conclusion? Do I have a works cited page? And more about just being straight up about how I feel. If my story is not linear, if it doesn't start at the beginning, that's okay. If there aren't body paragraphs, like a formally laid out story with an introduction and conclusion, that's also okay. The thing that makes my story legitimate and the thing that makes me feel like my story is worth telling is telling it to a camera. And the coolest thing about that is that it's still rhetoric and it's still literacy. It's just not on paper.